suddenly shake the brain, you bang it against something, you decelerate it, it splits like a jelly, like shaking a bowl of jelly, and it'll break the fibres, the wires that are so vital to the way the brain functions.
Just one punch. That's all it takes. Stephen and Carol Radnotty were about to move to Roxburgh when their lives were destroyed by too much booze and just one punch.
It was sort of like a farewell thing. Steve had packed the house, you know. He had all these boxes everywhere. He'd packed up everything he could find because we wanted to do a trip the next day down to Roxburgh. So it was a good night, you know, all of our friends, everyone was there.
Well, I was down in Dunedin for the birth of my son. Happy to see him be brought into this world. Yeah, I went out and had a couple of drinks with my friends. I was happy, I was in tears for having my son, and yeah, I was excited.
So we finished there, and Sharky wanted food. And in the end, Steve gave in, and he says, yeah, okay, fine. Well, we got in the car.
We all sort of jumped in the van and went to town. My mates were like, oh, we'll go get a feed at McDonald's.
I said, no, I'm not coming in. My feet are sore. I don't want to be here. He says, well, I'll get you something then. So fine, get me a cheeseburger. That was the last words I spoke to him.
My mates were lined up with their girlfriends, and my mate's girlfriend was paying for her McDonald's.
And the boyfriend said to Sharky, you're trying to come on to my girlfriend. And Sharky says, come on, mate, I'm old enough to be a father, I've got grandkids.
Yeah, an altercation happened and I just seen it, and I seen three older fellas.
And Steve turned around and he says, oh, for Pete's sake, just settle it all down.
Went to help my mate, like, you know, thinking that he could be attacked.
And that guy came out of nowhere. I heard that he thought someone had said something, but apparently whoever said anything, it wasn't Steve.
Yeah, I didn't think, really. I just went straight to action and hit the man. I seen him fall asleep, like knocked out straight away.
Sharky was walking towards the car.
My mates were saying, oh, come on, let's go, let's get out of here, let's get out of here.
And he just said to me, he says, don't panic, Steve's been hit. You really need to come inside, the ambulance is on the way.
Then I seen the blood and sort of, whoa, freaked me out.
I walked through and I saw Steve lying on the ground and I thought, okay, well, he's going to be all right, you know. So I just stood back, and then I saw some blood by his ear and realised he wasn't really going to be all right.
Police were all around and yeah, just gave up, and then yeah, I was cuffed and put in the car and off to the police station to be interviewed. And
then the ambulance people came in, they had this big yellow thing. And I thought, that's not good. The lady turned around to me, I said, he's going to be okay, isn't he? And she says, I'm sorry. She said, it's bad, it's really bad. You really need to get hold of your family. And then I was told that Steve, there was no brain activity, that he was gone. And he was on the machines. And I had to make a decision when to turn them off. And I kept thinking, I don't want to turn them off, because if I turn them off, then he's gone. As long as he's still lying there, he's still my man. So I had to do it. And I felt so bad, because I kept thinking, what if I'm wrong? What if he's not really dead? What if he's not really dead at all? So they turned them off, and I leaned across and I watched his chest moving up and down, and I thought, see, he's wrong. He's still alive, he's still breathing. And then it stopped, and the rest of it was a nightmare, a total nightmare.
Steve Radnotty was 51 years old when he was punched, just once, and killed.
It's like dropping a laptop on the ground. You may pick it up, 9 times out of 10, and it's relatively undamaged or has a minor fault. And then once out of 10 times, it won't go at all, ever, because it's broken inside. And the brain is a much, much more delicate thing than a laptop computer.
Matthew Larson was 23 and drunk when he punched Steve. Just once.
I could say I wouldn't have done this if I was sober. I would have communicated better.
Drinking sensibly is a really important thing. You drink to enjoy yourself, not to excess. Because if you do and you don't know what you're doing, your chances of becoming a victim or an offender skyrocket through the roof.
Matthews learnt the hard way.
Drink sensible. Violence ain't okay, it's not going to prove anything. You're not going to get anywhere from violence. And you're going to end up in jail for a long time. You're not winning in the end of the day. If you can beat that fellow, it doesn't mean nothing. It's just it's your own ego that you're trying to fill.
His stupidity's cost him a lot as well. But the difference is that he's still alive and Steve's not. He can make amends for what he's done. I understand he's got a child. You know, he can do the right thing now. He can be a dad and a good dad. My kids have lost theirs.
Matt was sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Well, I've been up high security for like a good year, and you're locked up all day long. You get out for 4 hours a day, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon.
Steve Radnotty's family was sentenced to life without a loved one.
I sort of started to slip into this black hole because I couldn't see anything in the future. You know, the future was me, Steve, the kids, the grandkids, all lying in the sun in Roxburgh.
Before you get drunk, think about the consequences. If you're going to drink, drink sensibly. Look after your mates and avoid confrontation.
Here I am, you know. From happiest day of my life to, you know, the worst day of my life, you know. I brought my child into the world and then I've sort of, you know, hurt another, you know, innocent family. You know, happy, nice family they were, and I've come and crushed them.
Matthew will remember. Carol will remember. All it takes is just one punch.